Welcome to my page. Welcome to my channel, guys. My name is Rebecca Jones. If you are just tuning in, I want you to do me a favor and subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a lot more content I'm going to be uploading regarding business funding, around income shifting, around purchasing businesses. Just so much value we're going to add up for anyone looking to become an entrepreneur, anyone who's trying to really grow their brand, and also create multiple streams of income. This channel is going to be for you. So you want to make sure you subscribe. Now, if you're watching this video right now, you're watching because you want to find out how to get business funding. Now, business funding is a huge topic right now. There's a lot of different avenues where people are promoting on how to get business funding. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people who talk the talk but aren't necessarily ready to walk the walk, or aren't able to actually secure the bag. They're not actually able to get the business funding. So today we're going to talk about what you need to get qualified for business funding and how you actually can get business funding. Now, what type of business funding am I talking about? Unfortunately, this video is not for the startup business, right? If you're just starting your business, you don't have any type of revenue coming into your business, this isn't going to be for you, because we're going to talk about really revenue-based funding. What is that? Revenue-based funding is funding that is provided to companies that are already generating the revenue, which allows them to have a lower credit score and still get approved for funding. We just had a gentleman who owns a flooring company. His credit score was in about the 500s, but he was able to secure over $40,000 in business funding, which he was able to use to bring more business to the business. He was able to use it for marketing. He was able to hire more people. He was able to secure more accounts. And actually, he's going to be taking advantage of another one of our business programs where he's going to get additional, probably about another $80,000 in funding. And a part of that's going to go to pay off the first loan because he is utilizing our services, guys. So there's so many different ways to go about this, so many different products that are out, but the first step is you got to get qualified. You got to make sure you're qualified. So we're going to talk about the things you need to get qualified for business funding, for the type of business funding that we offer. And then at the end of this video, I'm actually going to show you exactly where you can go to actually apply if you think you meet the qualifications. The good news is that if you don't meet the qualifications, you now know exactly what you need to meet the qualifications. We're going to go into it. Number one thing, guys, you have to actually be a business locked in with an LLC. How do you do that? It's super simple. When you want to get your LLC, you can actually go right to your Google website and just type in Secretary of State. And once you do that, go into the search in your local state, because every state has a different Secretary of State website, and then type in LLC. And there's always going to be a step-by-step process of what about doing it. You want to create an LLC. In fact, without an LLC, you cannot get qualified for this business funding. So if you have a sole proprietorship, that automatically disqualifies you. You have to have an LLC. It has to be registered with the state, right? So if you don't want to go and do it yourself through the Secretary of State, you can go to different programs. I think there's all types of resources out there: Zoom Info, a Rocket Lawyer, right? There's all different types of LegalZoom that will actually do it for you, right? But you can actually do it yourself. Now, once you've established the LLC has to be in business for at least 6 months, right? Now, in some cases, 90 days is good, but I tell people just 6 months. Make sure you lock in your business for at least 6 months, which, if you think about it, is a great deal. If you go and look at some of the banks want you to be in business for 2 years, 5 years, sometimes even 8 years just to get qualified for business funding or for any type of funding for your business. So to only have to qualify for 6 months of business, first and foremost, is a huge blessing. That's something you want to take advantage of. You want to have that 6 months of business showing yourself to be an actual business. All right. So now we got to get the LLC. You got to have 6 months of business. Number 3 thing is you have to have a business checking account. Now, why is that important? Because we want to show that you have, number one, an actual business, that your business, all businesses that generate income have somewhere to put that income. So you have to have a business checking account. I just had a young lady who actually lost out twice on $100,000 in funding and in over $40,000 of funding because she had a lot of different things, but she did not have was a business checking account. She actually had a business savings account, and the business savings account was showing income going into the account, but it wasn't a checking account, and so she automatically got denied. So don't be in that situation. Don't hurt yourself. Start right now getting a business checking account. Now, there's a lot of different places you can go to. I don't have any links in my bio for that. This is just common knowledge. You can go to Navy Federal. You can go to a Bank of America. You go to your local credit union. There's no special bank account that you need. You just want to make sure you have a business banking account. If you already have a personal account, you most likely can go to your bank and open up a business checking account. Also, to go back for a second, I talked about the LLC. You also want to have an EIN with the LLC. If you don't have an EIN, you can't open a business checking account. So make sure not only do you have an LLC, but you go to the IRS website and get that EIN number as well. It has to match together. All right. So now you got the business checking account set up. Now here is another super important part. The business checking account has to be in business just like the business for at least 6 months. So you can't just open up a business checking account and then say, hey, I need business funding. Then they'll look at you like you're crazy. You're not going to get approved. Okay, so you want to have it at least for 6 months. Why? Because they want to see that you're a real business. They want to see you're actually getting income going into that account, which leads me to my next thing that you must have. You got to have revenue that's going into your business checking account that's from the business. What do I mean by that? Some people have businesses, but the income that's going into the business checking account is from their job or from gifts or something like that. You actually have to have income or revenue rather going from your business deposited into your business checking account. Why? Because again, they want to see that you have income, that you have revenue, that you can pay back the monies that they're going to give you, right? They're not going to give you any money. You got to keep in mind, these are non-banking institutions, right? These are lenders who are actually advancing you money based on their trust factor in your business model, and the income that you have coming in. So if you are showing that you're not capable of being able to pay them back, they're not going to give you the money. Especially seeing that the next thing we're going to talk about is credit. Now, here's the thing. Credit is probably one of the number one things that knock people out the ballpark. We talked about banking, right? Most of the banks are not giving money to business owners. Number one reason because of their credit score. They want at least a 680 credit score on top of all types of other hoops that they want you to jump through. With our lenders, you don't need a 680 credit score, right? A lot of are able to get in the door with a 550 credit score. Now, I can't quote credit scores because I'm not the lender. What I can just tell you is that if you have at least a 550, most people are getting approved with our business funding, right? Why? Because of the revenue. So you have to have revenue. And my suggestion is you want to have at least, bare minimum, $5,000 of revenue going into your business checking account. Now, if you have more revenue going in, you're going to get approved for more, right? Obviously, if you have 5,000 at minimum, then there's going to be a number for that. We just had another gentleman who got approved for about $80,000 in business funding, and it's because they were averaging somewhere between $30,000 and $50,000 a month in funding. I've seen people go up to $150,000 in business funding. I've seen $300,000 with I think it was a chiropractor office, right? So it just varies on the business. Again, we can't talk about how much you'll get because you have to go through underwriting and let them tell you that. But what I can tell you is that if you don't have revenue going into the business checking account, you're automatically out the ballpark. You want to have a minimum of $5,000 in revenue. Minimum. Next thing you have to have, guys, we're going to the end of this video, is you want to make sure you have minimum non-sufficient fund fees, NSFs. Right, we just had somebody who was bringing in well over $50,000 in business revenue, had a cleaning business, everything was going great. It looked like they were about to get approved, and then boom, they weren't approved because they had excessive non-sufficient funds fees. What is that? Non-sufficient fund fees are just that. They're days on end that you went without having enough money in your bank account or no money in your bank account, or there was a time where money was to be withdrawn out your bank account, and you didn't have any money in, so now you accrued a fee. Right, and it's one thing to have one because things happen, maybe two, but if you have excessive NSF, guys, unfortunately, that can knock you out the ballpark. You want to make sure that you keep that to a minimum, right? A super minimum, because the banking institutions on top of that and the non-banking institutions both do not tolerate non-sufficient funds fees. Why is that? Well, it's obvious, right? If they feel like you can't afford to pay the money back and you don't have money in your account, they're not going to want to loan you the money. Right, so you want to be diligent with making sure you have the funds in the account at all times. Now, there's a lot of other reasons why sometimes you will not get approved, right? If you have excessive, bad checks out there, or if you owe other non-banking institutions or even banking institutions and you haven't paid them back, you can get denied, right? So it helps that you don't owe anyone else. It helps that you don't have a whole bunch of other loans out there. It helps that you don't have bad checks. I'm not saying any of these one things will get you denied. I'm just saying I have seen cases where maybe those were the situations. So Here's the thing. I just showed you everything you need to get approved. You got all those things. I'm going to put a list of those things in the description below. You are about 75, 80% pre-approved already. The next step is just actually putting in the information. So what you want to do is when it's time to apply, because you're going to get a pre-approval as soon as you finish applying, you want to make sure that you have your bank statements available. Now, I'm not saying don't apply until you have your bank statements. I'm just saying make sure you have access to that. Because once you apply, the application is about 3 minutes. You're going to know if you're pre-approved instantly. But you want to make sure that whatever you put on the application matches up with your bank statements, right? Don't say on your application that you're bringing in $10,000 a month revenue, and then when they look at your bank statements, they only see $3,000 of revenue and maybe one $10,000 a month. You're going to automatically be denied. So you want to make sure that your revenue matches up with your bank statements, because that's going to increase your odds of getting approved by about 100%, right? You do not want to put information onto the application that's not real, right? There's no benefit in that but hurting yourself, right? Either you're going to be approved or you're not, but if you do all the things I'm telling you, you have all the things I'm telling you, you will be approved, guys. So that's my time, guys. If you're ready to get approved for business funding, we can get you approved in same day approval. You can receive the funds within about 3 days. So if you want to approve now, what you want to do is you want to go to the description and click the link in the description. It'll take you right to the application and just follow the steps. And like I said, make sure you have access to your business bank account so that you can get approved. Now, here's the thing. If you have less than $5,000 in revenue, we do have additional funding options, but they're going to be very, very small amounts, right? We do offer funding also for those of you who might do DoorDash or have your own sole proprietorship, or maybe you're only bringing in a minimum 3,000 or 3,500. We do have funding for that, but it's going to be the bare minimum. That's why I don't talk about it, because a lot of people, they're really looking for the big funding, and this would not do much, but maybe allow you to get maybe about a fourth of the income you have again. So if you have about $3,000 coming in, you might get anywhere between $800 and $1,200, just kind of an advance to help you get through. And for many of you, that's not what you're looking for. But if you know somebody who is, you can absolutely, forward them to this video, have them click the link, and they can actually put in an application. But for many of you, you're doing over $5,000. You want the bigger funding. You want to get the type of funding that can allow you to get a new vehicle, maybe a new truck, maybe you need inventory, maybe you want to pay for marketing, right? Maybe you have a business idea, you want to add another location. You're looking to use your money to make more money, and that's what this is for. So if you watch this, it's 2022, and you are ready, even if it's not 2022, it's still going to be valid. But if you watch this in 2022, I advise you right now to take advantage. We are in a season right now where so much is going on in the economy, and we're trying to keep the economy going by keeping our small businesses going. And so this is a perfect opportunity to take advantage of the funds that are available. So if you want to get access to that, just go to my description. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more tips, tricks on business, entrepreneurship, inspiration to help you to take yourself and your business to the next level. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. God bless and be great.